What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. It is a sweltering day here in Pittsburgh. I am overheated. I'm breathing heavy. It's a tough one out here, but thankfully Steelers season is almost upon us. I've been covering the Steelers all offseason. I've been doing draft videos, free agency videos, positional videos, comparing last year to this year's videos, players that could stand out, players that could be on the bubble of being cut. Tons of Steeler coverage. Last week, I decided to do a new feature where I ranked the Steelers' offensive starters from 11 to 1, kind of the least expected or kind of what I know least about them, all the way up to number 1 as far as star power and potential for this coming season. I got the idea on Arthur Moat's channel, with Arthur Moats and Deke. Go check out the Arthur Moats channel if you get a chance. Shout out to Arthur. What they ranked the 11 offensive starters from 11 to 1, and I did the same last week. So if you want to check that out, go check it out. Early last week on my channel, I posted that video, and now I want to do the 11 defensive starters from 11 to 1. And again, this is ranking the 3 defensive linemen, so the 2 ends and the 1 D tackle, the 2 inside linebackers, the 2 outside linebackers, the 2 starting corners, and the 2 starting safeties. So I ranked those from 11 to 1, and again, this is based on their previous bodies of work, based on how they fit in the system, based on their level of experience, based on what I could expect this coming season, and how reliable they are to make plays this season. So starting at number 11, going from least to best here, and I shouldn't say least because I expect this defense to be good overall. But I am starting at number 11, just like I started last week, with the rookie Keanu Benton, just because he's a rookie. I'm very excited about him. I think he fits the system. I think he is exactly the kind of D-tackle we need. A big, physical, strong power guy that takes up space, that can attack, has a motor for a guy his size, fits the Steeler mentality, but he's a rookie. So we don't know how he's going to translate to the NFL game. We've not seen him play a single second in the NFL yet against this level of competition, so we don't know what he's going to be like at this level yet. So while I'm very excited about Benton, and I think he's going to be a potential future franchise D-tackle, and I love this fit here, and I'm very excited, I got to put him at number 11, just like I did last week with Broderick Jones, because he's a rookie. He hasn't played at this level yet. Number 10, now we're on to the veteran players. Number 10, Landon Roberts. I like this signing. Again, he's a 100-plus tackle guy. He's had the captain's patch on in Miami for several years now. He's pretty reliable as far as injury history. He's just a pretty solid veteran inside linebacker, but he does feel to me like he's limited. He's a downhill thumper. He's going to attack the run game. He's going to be a short tackler, which is what we need at the inside linebacker spot. But he doesn't have that flash or that positional flexibility or that kind of positional duality as far as covering guys. He's not a good cover linebacker, so he fits the mold of some of the guys we've had here in the past, like Miles Jack, Robert Spillane. He's going to be physical. He's going to be, I think, an improved tackler on those guys, but he's kind of a slower kind of downhill thumper. He's going to be good for the run game, but as far as getting out in coverage or getting to the quarterback consistently, he doesn't really have those things that make him make big splash plays. So while he's an improvement at the position, I don't think he's going to splash for us. So I like him, but I've got him at number 10. Number 9, DeMonte KZ, a veteran guy that I like, and every guy from here on up is kind of hard to rank because they're all really good. I like all 11 starters for this defense. They're all better, I think, than last year. DeMonte KZ is a veteran safety who got signed last year to be kind of a third swing safety, which we now have Keanu Neal playing that spot. And didn't get to play at the start of the season, was hurt for a lot of the year, came in toward the end of the year, played more, and made plays. The guy can tackle, he can blitz off the edge a little bit, he can play a little bit of slot corner if he needs to. He's really fast and underrated as far as physicality goes. He gets a lot of picks. He once led the NFL in interceptions. He got a lot of picks for the Falcons and for the Cowboys. So KZ makes splash plays, and he's got a really good head on his shoulders as a veteran cover guy. I like KZ. The one question is going to be his health. He was banged up a few years before he got here, and he was banged up for the first half, maybe even a little more than the first half of last season. So if he's healthy, I think he's going to deliver as our starter. Hopefully he gets to play an entire season here and show us that he can still do, at his advanced age, what he did before. So age/injuries make him a little lower on this list, but I like KZ a lot. Another guy that I like a lot who's only lower on this list because of his injury history is Cole Holcomb. Number 8, Cole Holcomb. He is our undoubted number 1 inside linebacker. I think he's got every tool to be a star in this league. He averaged 10 tackles a game. He had 69 tackles in 7 games last year before he got hurt. He pretty much has had 120-plus tackle seasons multiple times. Another 100-tackle guy that had the captain's patch on his chest for Washington. He's very fast. He tested fast. His speed on the 40 was incredible. He's an athlete. He is far and away our best cover guy. He's not like an elite inside linebacker cover guy, but he is by far our best and the best we've had probably here in several years. Holcomb can cover, Holcomb can blitz, Holcomb can tackle. He's got everything. My only question for why he's number 8 is the fact that he's coming off a surgery last year. He missed 10 games last year, the last 10 games of the season, with a foot or an ankle. I think it was a foot surgery. So when you're predicated on being fast and being someone who can cover faster guys, you got to have that speed. So how he recovers from the injury is going to be what separates him from being either solid or great. I think Holcomb could be great, but again, injuries are a factor. Number 7, Levi Wallace. What an underrated pickup this guy was. Got him last year from Buffalo, came in as our starting corner number 2 last year, wound up being the best corner we had playing last year. Weatherspoon didn't play very well. Okay, I would say Cam Sutton was maybe right on par, but Levi Wallace had 4 or 5 picks last year. I think he had 4. He was a pretty active guy, and he started the season a little slow. Pretty good tackler, but didn't make a ton of plays early in the season. That second half, when the entire team gelled together and started getting more experience on field together, Levi Wallace really started making plays. Again, I think 4 picks, was heavily involved in some batted balls. I like the guy's motor. I like his intelligence. I like the fact that he's physical and he's involved in the plays. Levi Wallace wound up being our most underrated and underappreciated signing of last season. And I think this year now, playing with other people, like you've got Patrick Peterson on the other side, you've got Porter, you've got underrated Trace in the 7th round, you've got players now. Chandon Sullivan is a veteran slot guy. You have guys around Levi Wallace playing at a higher level too, which is going to make Wallace better. I just don't want to see Wallace get lost in the shuffle. He's only as far down as 7 because, with all the other corners we brought in, with Sullivan, with Peterson, with Porter, with Trice, there's only so many bones for these dogs to eat. There's only so much playing time to go around, so to speak. So we'll see how much he gets on the field and all that. But he's a veteran guy who produced last year, so I want to see him play quite a bit. I think he's by far a starter for us and should be. But I like Wallace a lot, and I want to see him continue to have an upward trajectory on this team. Number 6, top 6 now, Larry Ogunjobi. We re-signed him in the offseason, veteran contract for, I think, 3 years. I liked Ogunjobi last year, had some injury issues coming in, was up and down with injuries. When he's on the field, he's just a smart guy. He's not going to be as good as a Cam. He's not going to have as high of an upside as a Benton. He's not somebody that's going to just splash all over the place, giggity. But he is somebody that's going to be a sure tackler, make sure smart plays. He's going to get up and bat some balls. He's going to be a guy that's just around the play. He's around the players, and he's not missing a ton of tackles. He's not in bad position. He's just a smart veteran who is a starter for any team in the NFL. So I like Ogunjobi a lot. Again, the upside is kind of you're going to get what you're going to get, but what you're going to get is a lot more good than bad with a veteran presence. Now we're into our top 5, and these 5 are kind of obvious. These are 5-star/fringe stars. Again, these guys had to be the top 5. It was clear. Number 5, Alex Highsmith. It's weird to think a guy with 14 sacks last year was 5 on the list of defensive starters, but you'll see why when we get to 4 through 1. Highsmith has gotten better every season, from coming off the bench with Dupree in the first year to starting very solid in the second year to becoming a star last year with 14 sacks. Even when Watt was out, Highsmith was still getting sacks. He was learning to get to the quarterback on his own, and when he's playing next to Watt, he's obviously even better. So he's got probably the most important contract coming up next year as far as what is he going to get paid, where's he going to go. So he's the big contract point for next offseason. We're not going to cover that right now. But Highsmith, again, high motor, fast guy, good tackler, gets a lot of pressure off the edge. When the when the outside linebackers are getting to the quarterback, this defense is better. When TJ Watt's out there and Highsmith is playing at his best level, we are an elite defense. We are a top 5 type of defense. When that's not happening, we are a bottom 10, bottom 7 type defense. So a lot of things rely on Highsmith, and he's very, very good. And I want to see where his future lies, hopefully, here in Pittsburgh. Number 4, the veteran, the future Hall of Famer, Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson, Pat Pete, is an absolute beast. He is one of the smartest and most diverse corners in the history of the game. He's always around the ball. He's returning. He's forcing fumbles. He's getting picks. He's getting pick sixes. The guy is electrifying. The guy is, even at his older age now and slightly reduced speed, he's still very fast. He's physical on the outside. He can play a little safety. He can play a little slot corner. The guy can do anything. And I would like to see him this season personally. As Porter comes along and starts to start more, I want to see Peterson go into the slot. I think Peterson's got a higher upside in the slot than Chandon Sullivan or anybody else on this roster in the slot does. I think most of our corners are outside corners. Peterson is the one guy we can trust to play both, who can play inside. So when we're starting with 2 corners to begin the season, Peterson's our outside guy. Later on in the season, when we start going to three corner packages like nickel and stuff like that, you can bump Peterson to the inside when Porter's more comfortable. I like that alignment a lot. But Peterson is just Mr. Reliable, Mr. Flash, Mr. Splash, and the kind of guy we need on this defense after several years of not much splash on defense. And now we got our top 3, our old reliable Steelers, our veteran beasts here. Number 3, Cam Hayward. Weird to think of Cam Hayward, one of the best D linemen of all time, as number 3 on this team. But again, our defense is stacked. We've got new signings. We have young guys. We have veterans. We have incoming rookies. We are stacking this team with depth, with smart players, and with splash players. And we have made and cultivated a nice defense. But Cam Hayward, in spite of his age, in spite of his size, has a motor, has a mentality, has a leadership, has a locker room veteran presence that very few in the NFL, maybe the history of the NFL, have. Cam is the epitome of a Steeler. He is an all-time Steeler kind of player. And he's a fine wine. He mellows with age, but not in a way that's mellow. He mellows in terms of aging like fine wine. The guy is a beast. The guy is a tackler. The guy gets sacks. The guy is just one of the biggest playmakers we've had in decades. I love Cam Hayward. And even at his advanced age, he just gets better. Speaking of high motor and high intelligence and leadership, that's Minkah Fitzpatrick. What a defense. What a difference on this defense. Tongue twister. We've had since Minkah Fitzpatrick came along. Going from Sean Davis to Minkah Fitzpatrick changed the culture of this defense and kept us relevant as the offense started to struggle as Ben got older, and then we went to Trubisky and brought in Pickett. As the offense struggled and the offensive line struggled, the defense had to take over games. And once Minkah got traded here, what a trade that was worth for us. Minkah has changed the culture of this defense. The guy is a splash player, a turnover magnet who's always around the ball, who's hitting, who can play around the line of scrimmage, who can play deep safety, who can do essentially everything. It is the maybe less hybrid version, but the closest thing we've had to Troy Polamalu since he's been here. Again, Troy is the more physical, around the line blitz kind of guy, but Minkah can do that and can cover. Minkah Fitzpatrick is an elite safety, among the best in the league, and I'm glad he's here. And number 1, obviously the DPOY, in my opinion, the best defensive player in any team in the NFL. The probably most impactful player in the NFL in terms of when he's out there, what the team does, versus when he's not out there, what the team does. And that's my only concern is injury, TJ Watt. TJ Watt is a game changer. He's a franchise changer. He's one of the best outside linebackers we've ever had. His mentality, his ability to play through pain, his batting of balls. He's even split out and cover guys at times. TJ can do most everything. And again, you see this team. When TJ's healthy out there, we are a top 5 defense. When TJ is not out there, we can sometimes be in the bottom 5. That is the difference this one guy makes. And he is always in the conversation for DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year, as he should be. So that is my list. I'll do it again. Keanu Benton, number 11. 10, Landon Roberts. 9, DeMonte Casey. 8, Cole Holcomb. 7, Levi Wallace. 6, Larry Ogunjobi. 5, Alex Highsmith. 4, Patrick Peterson. 3, Cam Hayward. 2, Minkah Fitzpatrick. 1, TJ Watt. And you look at those starting 11. And again, you look at adding other guys on the defensive line. Young Benton. Now all of a sudden you got veteran guys like Armon Watson, Braden Fehoko. Now you look at the inside linebacker room. They've also added Kwiatkowski from the Raiders, another veteran guy. You got Mark Robinson, who started last year. You look at the corners, at the guys that I read off, and then you add in the fact that we got Chandon Sullivan, a dedicated slot guy. We got Joey Porter Jr. in the 2nd round. We got Trice in the 7th, and I had a 4th round grade. Some had a 2nd round grade on him. You add those guys in. You add the Cardinals guy from the outside linebacker spot. You add Nick Herbig from the outside linebacker spot. You've now got a veteran and a rookie backup at the outside linebackers. You've got Keanu Neal now. It says there's your third safety who can play when somebody gets hurt or can play in sub packages, play coverage in the linebacker spot. We've got a lot of pieces from rookies to veterans that are filling out depth, that are filling out and upgrading the positions on this defense. I like where this defense is at. The potential is there for a top 5 defense this season, which could really mean something in the long-term push of things. What do you think about my list? And give me your list in the comments below. Rank my list and tell me how I did and tell me what you would do with this list. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, if you want to see the offensive video, go check that one out from last week. I've got a movie review from last week. I'm doing a movie review right here next, back to back. Let me know what you think of those as well, and I will see you guys soon. Go Steelers. Plenty more coverage to come.